And we've already gotten responses to that. And the third thing we're looking for are associate producers, people who can develop, contact, book the guests for the shows, or at least help us to do that, so that we're not the only ones doing that. Yeah, I have no idea doing a daily show, okay, where I get just 4 guests a week, and the show was originally designed for 7. I had to cut back on the show because we didn't have enough people. 4 a week. We've done 420 shows. Okay, I guess you got to take a fifth of that away. So you're talking 336 shows times 4 guests. That's a lot of guests. That's a lot of guests. Yes, there is some duplication, but mostly not. And Lee, how has that been? I mean, how has that been with the guests?
Well, like I said, it's been hard, and why I need assistance is that there are many topics out there that I don't even know are out there because I don't have time to resource them. I don't have time to listen and hear to read all the news like Nina does. She sees a lot more things. And, I need someone that can feed ideas where we can work as a team to bring our guest list to even a higher plateau and bring information out there to you, because for want of knowledge, my children have perished.
Okay, now, what I want you to know is already the response has been enough to have me seriously considering bringing the show back in a few months in a weekly format. And we've been toying with the idea. I've already checked to see if the network is amenable to it, and as long as scheduling allows, they are. And so we're looking just at the possibility right now. It's not a definite thing, but I want you to understand that what we may do is bring the show back on a weekly basis as a Saturday show. It would be a more relaxed format, maybe 3 hours. We might incorporate several regular commentaries, not necessarily every week, but people like Michael Bednarik, Adam Kotesh. We have, certain people like Lindsey Williams and Bob Chapman. And we can incorporate them on a regular basis onto the show, as well as do other guests if it may be that we have enough of you to make that happen. I'm going to have to look it over. I'm going to have to consider that. And nothing will happen until March or April. But I do want to let you know, okay, that this is a real possibility. I haven't looked in depth, but it looks like a very viable possibility. And by the way, as long as you check with Global Freedom Report, check with our Facebook, check with Freedom Radio, you will find announcements. They'll be out there. Or register with one of the websites, and you'll automatically get any announcements that are sent via email. What do you think? What do the two of you think about a weekly show?
That would be an interesting concept indeed. We don't want this to die out completely, and people don't realize how much work really goes into producing this show. I don't think anyone has an idea of how many hours each one of us spends trying to put this together. I would like to see this continue, even if it's just in a weekly format.
I see many advantages to going to a 3-hour format, Brent, and we've discussed those. And, just to have more time to get more information out there, I think it's brilliant. And I think it's doable. I think it's very doable.
All right. Well, so if the two of them are saying that they think it's good, and if I'm willing to look at it, there's a good chance that with your support we can make it happen sooner rather than later. So, and by the way, you've noticed I've never asked you for money. When I ask for your support, I'm not talking about donations. I'm talking about your time. Because if you care about your rights, the way I care about your rights, you won't hesitate. Apparently, our friends at the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force have decided that the Animal Enterprise Terrorism Act means that people who are activists and investigating, say, factory farms and are deemed to have illegally entered buildings and videotape conditions of animals are now going to be reported as terrorists. They may be prosecuted as terrorists. The FBI makes it clear that the Animal Enterprise Terrorism Act is not about protecting public safety. It's about protecting corporate profit. Corporations and the politicians who represent them have repeatedly lied to the American public about the scope of this legislation and claim that the law only targets underground groups like the Animal Liberation Front. Truth is that the terrorism law has been slowly, methodically expanded to include the tactics of national organizations like the Humane Society of the United States. And just one more example of how if you allow the government to utilize terrorism as an excuse to do anything, then it will expand the use of the definition of terrorism. And Lee, there was something you wanted to say about, you wanted to say to Laura in Colorado that you hadn't gotten a chance to say. I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
No worries. Laura in Colorado, and to the listeners also. One thing Brent has not mentioned as of yet is that he will also go on as a guest on other shows. So, Laura, if you give me a call and we can walk you through about how to bring on a guest, and help develop your skills in that way. And to the listeners, if you have other hosts to whom you listen and you would like Brent to come on as a guest on their show, give me a call. Contact me either at the 888-385-3733 number or email me at producer@freedomradio.us, and because I'll still be doing bookings for Brent.
And by the way, you can always send an email through globalfreedomreport.com. It'll get to me. It'll get to her. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. And I've also let Joe McNeil know that if at any point, he needs somebody to come in as a sub or something, a substitute, somebody's out or there's some kind of a problem, that I'll be happy to do that. So you keep listening to the Micro Effect, because that's where you'll find out about Brent Johnson. And want to make sure that gets in there. But I'm sorry, were you complete on that, Lee?
Yeah. This is just another way you can get involved in getting the word out. Let's expand Brent's knowledge to other shows.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I do guest appearances on other shows as well. Thank you, Lee. Representative Jim Sensenbrenner of Wisconsin, known for his cantankerous ways and for not speaking to media unless it's his idea, was overheard at the Delta Crown Lounge at Reagan National Airport. This would have been just yesterday, talking on his cell phone about an incident he said occurred 3 weeks earlier while at an Episcopal Church auction. The source of the information is a Democrat who heard the whole thing, who said he was very loud. Speaking of Sensenbrenner was overheard saying that after buying all their crap, that's his word, a woman approached him and praised First Lady Michelle Obama. He told the woman that Michelle should practice what she preaches. Quote, "She lectures us on eating right, while she has a large posterior herself." End quote. Now, did I hear that wrong, or did the congressman just say that Michelle Obama has a fat ass?
Yep, that's exactly what he said. I love that one. That's a great.
The operative said it sounded like he was on the phone with a staffer who was telling him that someone in media would likely write about his comments, to which he said it was hearsay and just liberal media bias to print gossip. But he stands by his remark.
Well, the one thing he said that Michelle is pushing for everybody to eat all other food in schools. And I've seen articles where she's eating cheesesteaks and Obama's eating cheesesteaks and hamburgers. And, it's do as I say, but don't do as I do. There was a survey that came out recently. I forget what school system it was. The kids, they changed to all these vegetable lunches and tofu and all that. The kids are bringing their own junk food to school, and the school lunch line has gone down by thousands because nobody wants to eat the food.
Yeah, but now they come out and say, oh, no, we have to inspect what you're bringing and see if it's okay.
Well, and I think it points out another point, Nina. You made it absolutely crystal clear. They're all just a bunch of hypocrites.
Yes.
They are just plain downright hypocritical. And people have got to get that and get mad about it. Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Or do as I, yes. Do as I,
understand, hypocritical comes from not valuing the truth. Remember, we're back to social value. If the truth is valued, you're not hypocritical, most people, because there's social pressure against you. You're ostracized if you are a hypocrite. But everybody's doing it.
It's a form of lying. It's a form of lying, and exactly that is, lying has become socially acceptable and expected. Well, don't allow it and it'll stop.
That's absolutely right. I mean, you're absolutely right. People don't hang around me people who lie don't hang around me because I expose it. People who lie don't want to be exposed, so they don't hang around me, which means I get what I want, which is not have liars around me.
Well, in all of this permissiveness, it just absolutely, I'm getting on my soapbox. I can feel it. Stand back, Jack. But I'm telling you, I just get so irritated, so totally irritated as to what we are allowing. I mean, if nobody is going to stop it but us, so why are we allowing it? Ugh.
And again, it comes back down to those words that I say so regularly. What are you willing to do to protect and preserve your freedom, and what are you not willing to do? And in this case, the message coming out from too many people is, I'm not willing to stand up and refuse to allow, to tolerate in my community, the darkness and the evil and the lies, and I'm just not going to allow it.
Well, and it also, Brent, comes down to people being afraid to speak up. And that is the other part of the component that we have to cut through.
That's the same thing. Are you willing to speak up for freedom? What are you not willing to do? Well, I'm not willing to speak up. All right, you tell yourself that in the mirror every day. What are you not willing to do to protect your freedom? I'm not willing to speak up. Just be honest. That's the case. You tell yourself that, and you watch how quickly you change.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say a few words about the Micro Effect Broadcast Network and Joe McNeil. When I first spoke with Joe McNeil about bringing this show onto the network, one of the first things that he said to me is, I believe a man is nothing if he's not his word. And while those words by themselves aren't necessarily meaningful, because even a crook will say something like that in the right circumstances, I never for a moment doubted that Joe meant it. And I have always felt that my relationship with Joe professionally has been one of absolute integrity. That if Joe says something, it'll happen. Okay? That if as the reverse is true, if I tell Joe I'm going to do something, I do it. And if Joe tells me he will, he does it. And the entire network reflects the character and the integrity of Joe McNeil. And so it has been just an absolute pleasure to spend 18 months on this network. And I really hope that we're going to be able to make it happen and bring it back as a weekly and come back. But whether we can or cannot, Joe McNeil, I wish you the very, very, very best and the ultimate in success in the network and in everything else you do. And I got to say that children are a reflection of their parents. And I've had the pleasure of interacting with 3 of Joe and Kelly's children. And they are absolutely remarkable with speaks volumes about you, two of you, Joe and Kelly McNeil. And like I say, the network is a clear reflection of your characters. So thank you for creating it and giving me the opportunity to bring my show on your network. Lee, let's start with Nina. Nina, okay. What would you like to say to the listener that maybe you have not said, that maybe you think should be said, or just that you just want to express? What do you want to say?
I would hope that the listeners out there, even though they don't have this show to listen to, I would hope that they've learned a lot from the show. I would also hope that they will go out there and continue with what they have learned from this show. Spread it out there. Pass it on. Because we can't stop this. We can't just say, okay, it's over, it's done, we're not going to do it. You've got to keep on going. I intend to keep on going. I don't know which direction I'm going in yet, but I might do a blog, might do a newsletter, might do internet radio like that other woman that called. But people, you need to stand up now. The time is short, and I don't even think there is any time left. You have to stand up now and fight back against this tyranny, or there might not be a radio show again. There might not be freedom again. There might not be a newsletter. There might not be a lot of things. Stand up now, folks.
Thank you, Nina. Lee, is there anything you would like to say?
Yes, absolutely there is. I was thinking about this last night, and thank you for the opportunity to voice it, Brent. I agree totally with what Nina said, and there is more that can be added to it. I don't know that our listeners, it saddens me that I don't know that our listeners realize how very, very important each and every one of them is. I don't know that they appreciate the gifts that they have been given, the gift to choose. Freedom is all about having choice. And if we don't have choice, then we are slaves. And each one of you knows that. And that's the cause for which we fight. And carrying that cause forward is the highest charge you can be given. But you've taken it on because you've listened to the show. You've listened to Nina. You've listened to Brent. You know the answers. You know the problems. And that's why you are so valuable and you are so loved in his sight, because you value the truth. You value liberty. You value justice. And it's been an absolute honor, for as much work as it's been an honor to bring forth this information, because I know I have faith that you will carry it forward. And we rely on you. Like Nina said, we can't stop. And this is not going to stop unless and until we stop it. That means you and me and everyone else. And the more we can enlarge that circle of knowledge, the greater the chances are. And that's why you're important. So please take that to heart and understand that we count on you just as much as you count on us being here. Thank you for being our audience. I love each and every one of you.
Thank you, Lee. And now it's time for Spy 101, How to Be a Covert Operative.
Foot chases rarely last long. During the initial burst of adrenaline, it's important to keep your target in view. If you can, you'll probably catch up. Few people have anything left in the tank after a quarter mile at top speed.
Very good. The Microeffect Broadcast Network is giving away a KU-band satellite system on December 30th on Joe McNeil's Who's Next program right here on the Microeffect Broadcast Network. And you can win it. It costs you $1 a chance with a minimum of 5. Beyond that, you can get as many as you want. Your satellite system will arrive complete and ready to use. You just point it in the right direction and flip the switch. You can purchase your chances with PayPal, mail your payment, or you can call toll-free 888-747-1968 and use your credit card. Get your tickets today. Win a KU band satellite system. For more information, go to www.themicroeffect.com. I want to thank the people who have been instrumental in making this show happen. Brianna McNeil, who's only been with us for a few weeks. Brianna, I would give you a reference to any commercial studio out there, any media outlet out there. You have been absolutely fabulous. Believe me, I know how to evaluate. You have been terrific, and thank you. And thanks as well, go to Chase and Dylan. Chase, who was our board operator before Brianna, and Dylan, who has stepped in, who was there from the beginning. Thank you all. You've been really, really terrific. Lee Parker, words fail me except to say that you are not an ordinary professional media producer. You bring to your work your own personality, your own sense of caring. I've noticed it throughout. I know our guests have noticed it as well. And it's just magnificent what you have done. Thank you so much for everything that you have done for the show.
You're welcome.
Tom Baker, our associate producer and news desk. And, with all the news that Nina feeds me, Tom feeds me 5 times as much. Tom, I couldn't do any of this. I told you years ago you were my right hand. It still is true today. Nina Owens, our Patriot Network news correspondent. Nina, I have said it before. I've gone on about it. I don't mean to repeat myself, but it has been an absolute pleasure and an honor to have you be a part of this show. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Ann Niederman. Annie, okay, I know you're in the background, but let me tell you something. It makes a big difference to me knowing that you're there when we need you. God bless you, and thank you for participating in the show. Our Mott Squad correspondents who stayed with us to the end, Vit Jedlichka down in the Czech Republic, and Kirk Rinnie over in the Central Plains States. Thank you, and hopefully we'll have you back on board when we bring the show back. And not to be diminished in any way, last but certainly not least, our webmaster, Joe Sager. If you need a good webmaster, contact me. I'll put you on to him. And Justin Sandy, who's handled our social networking and video production. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Remember to be grateful for the eternal blessings of life and liberty bestowed upon you, not by your government, but by your Creator, and appreciate what you have and who is in your life today. You just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It has been a genuine privilege to spend these past 18 months speaking with you about truth, justice, and liberty. I hope I have in some small way added to your knowledge and enhanced your lives. I will continue to write, conduct seminars, and render consulting services to help people live free. We can show you how to protect your liberty, property, and privacy from government intrusion. You can call us at 888-385-3733, 888-385-FREE. Be sure to check my website, The Voice of Freedom, at www.freedomradio.us for the latest schedule of my guest appearances on other shows. Also, you can download my latest podcasts there. Thank you for allowing me to come into your home or office and to be a part of your lives. Also, keep checking The Voice of Freedom and the microeffect.com websites for an announcement about the return of the Global Freedom Report as a weekly show. And tell your friends and e-groups about the Global Freedom Report. Now stay tuned for Stan Monteith on Radio Liberty. Enjoy your holidays, and let's see if together you and I can make this a very happy New Year. God bless every one of you. I'm Brent Johnson, wishing you a safe and enjoyable weekend and a happy New Year, and admonishing you to never forget that freedom is your birthright, a gift from God. Treat it accordingly.